Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all well. In a previous video, we talked about how we are reactive when we're triggered, and there's a voice that we hear before we are reactive, and that voice is the ego. So today, I want to dig a little deeper about the energetics of the ego and the higher self and help you, give you tips so that you can start distinguishing it when you're being ego driven versus soul guided when you're making a decision, because you want to make decisions when you're soul guided, not from the ego. So I'm going to be reading some slides that are taken from a module from one of my containers, the Belle Magnifique method. And this module really was created because of questions that I got from clients that asked me, okay, how can I know when it's my ego and when can I know when I'm being soul guided? So let's get to it. The ego, what is the ego? It's your wounded child. It's our source of fear. It sees life through very, very limited lenses. The identity is everything happened to me. I'm like this because of my circumstances. It's focused on survival. So it's scanning everything that's wrong, everything that's missing. It wants to keep us in our comfort zone. It hates everything that is unsafe outside of our comfort zone. It's most connected with the emotion of fear. It's externally focused, so it's about everyone else, the circumstances, something out of our control, and it communicates with us through fear. So it's a very frantic and panicky energy. On the other hand, the higher self is the evolved adult. Our source of intuition. It's his life through expansive lens. The identity is I am divine. I am divine because you are divine. It is focused on our spiritual growth. It compels us to take leaps of faith and take accountability for ourselves and propel us outside of our comfort zone. It's most connected with the feeling of certainty and purpose. It wants us to succeed. It's internally focused because it knows that everything outside is a mirror of what's going on inside. So it allows us to take responsibility for self. It communicates with us through our intuition. It's a very calm and collected and grounded energy. The ego lives in the past and in the future. It's a very reactive energy. It manifests as greed, jealousy, anger, attachment, gluttony, envy, and shame, with the root being fear. It makes everything about the self. It is very attached to the physical world, so it fears loss and death. It lives in the mind. It thinks and tells stories, and we're going to see that a little bit later because it's stories that never serve us, and it lives out here. So the higher self, when you're being soul guided, the higher self lives in the present moment, in the now. It is a very responsive energy. It manifests as love, compassion, empathy, connectedness, peace, and it's fully activated when safety is in the body. It is very anchored in the spiritual realm. It knows and knows the truth. It is our higher self. It's us. It is who we really, really want, who we really are. It lives in the heart. The ego lives in the mind. The higher self lives in the heart. It is our true nature. So, how does the ego manifest in your life, in our life, when we constantly care about what other people think? We feel jealous when others have what we want. We're very competitive with others. We feel lack or scarcity when making a purchase or investing in ourselves. We blame others and external circumstances for our issue. It is a very victimhood energy. It's attacking others for being different than us, making a human mistake, having a different opinion than us. It's feeling immense fear of growing a following, of speaking on stage, afraid of letting go of the things that don't serve us. It's very attached to toxic relationship, bad habits, limiting beliefs. So it's really living below our true potential due to fear. How does this higher self manifest in our life? We make decisions, think, and believe for ourselves, the sovereign light that we are. We question what no longer serve us, and we let go of these things. We do the things that terrify us, knowing that fear is felt from the ego, the wounded child, and we grow through overcoming our fears. We feel certain of who we are because we know who we are, which is a light of love. We wish others well, knowing that there's plenty more to go around. We live our dream life and we give to others without expectations. Now, there's some common misconception about the ego. The spiritual community has demonized the ego. Like you need to kill, destroy, silence it, eliminate the ego. But believing that you need to kill the ego is a belief that comes from the ego, from fear. The higher self loves the ego, is in partnership with the ego. The ego is part of you. The ego is a good thing to have. The ego keeps you safe and present here in the physical plane. Thank God you have the ego. It's why you look both ways before you cross a street. It's telling you not to go to dark alleyways at night. Without the ego, we wouldn't be alive. And when you see the ego as the wounded child and not something to kill, you can't kill a wounded child, you start to understand how to communicate with it. You can talk to the ego like a child if you have children. What does a child want? It wants to be seen, heard, understood, respected, and loved. It's your ego, it's your little child. And once you understand this, you'll have tamed the ego. You'll be able to make decisions, decipher the patterns that are ego driven, make decisions that are only soul guided, and that's it. So, this is important. How do the two voices communicate? So, the ego is a very frantic, anxious, panicky energy. It's very random when it's activated. It contradicts itself. Oh, I want to invest in this. No, I can't. I don't have money. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. It's very dramatic. It feeds off drama. It rushes you into making a decision. It thinks that opportunities are very limited. So, you have to keep at your job that you don't love, to keep doing what you're doing, like in the safe comfort zone. It has a very snarky, sarcastic tone. It's your inner critic. It's very charged behind its message. It makes everything about you, like everything means something about you. It convinces you that you're not good enough, not worthy for the things, the people, the experiences that you really want. And it's very good at convincing you too. It keeps you distracted from change. I have clients that very honestly shared with me that when they were watching a video in one of the containers that really challenges them, they remembered that they had to do laundry. And I said, isn't it interesting that it happened? You remembered you had to do laundry at that module. It's because your ego wants to keep you distracted from anything that makes you grow because it's challenging. It's outside your comfort zone. It's very resistant to change and it wants things at the same, to be the same. It uses our imagination to think about the worst case scenario, what can go wrong. On the other hand, the higher self is a very cool, calm, collected, grounded energy. It's very consistent when it's activated. It knows that opportunities are limitless. It's very kind, loving, sometimes stern voice. It's your inner cheerleader. There's no charge behind its message, no emotional charge. It knows that nothing means anything except the meaning that we give to things and circumstances because everything is inherently neutral. I go through that in detail with all my clients. It keeps you focused to what is important for your evolution, even when it's uncomfortable. It respects and welcomes changes because it knows that change is safe. It uses our imagination to think about the best case scenario, what can always go right. So, to really make it simple, whenever you are making a decision or you have a feeling about something, ask yourself, is this coming from fear or is it coming from love? Your soul always knows. Now, I have a question from my clients. Is it my ego or is my higher self warning me? Also know, is it fear or is it my intuition? So it depends on the context. Are we crossing the street here or are we asking for a raise? Sometimes I know that people, I include myself, can generally confuse or fear as intuitive warnings coming from our higher self. But most of us learn through experience and we embody these changes. That's how I learned. But please know that it's going to take some time, awareness, honesty, and pattern recognition to see differences and more importantly, to embody them. So I want to give you some life examples so that you see that in live as an experience. So I'm going to take something that really happened to me, a trip from New York to Montreal. So the night before the flight, I receive a message. You should drive instead of fly. Don't get on the plane, take your car. So you tune in and you feel that this message is very calm, cool, collected. The energy behind it is neutral. There's no emotional charge. You realize it's your intuition speaking to you, so you decide to drive. Even if you don't understand why, you trust. So upon arrival in Montreal, you learn that the flight that you would have been on was delayed for 4 hours due to a malfunction. And if you had been on that flight, you would have wasted this entire day at the airport. So your higher self literally rerouted you, showed you the best route to your destination. Thank God you listened. Now, the same New York from Montreal. So you arrive. Let's talk about you in this example so that you can really live the experience. You arrive at the airport, everything's fine, you check in, you go through security, and when you board, you have a message. Like your palms start to sweat, your heart start racing, you really hear a message, get out of this flight now, or something bad is going to happen. You tune in and you feel that this message is very panicky, it's frantic, it came out of nowhere, and you know that it's a trauma response. The energy behind it is very rushed and dramatic. You understand that it's your ego freaking out and trying to keep you safe from another trauma response, like the one that happened 10 years ago. A trauma response because I was on a flight 10 years ago and I thought the flight was going to fall. We were going to crash. And I got on the plane, literally, my heart started to race, my palms were sweating, and I had this message, this exact message, telling me, you need to get off this flight or something bad is going to happen. I have flashback of that time when I was 10 years ago where I thought we were going to crash. So that's how I knew that the message was very frantic and anxious. Get out of here. And it was a trauma response. So it was really my ego freaking out and protecting me from reliving another trauma response like the one in that flight 10 years ago. So instead of getting off the flight, what I decided to do was some tapping. Like other people have the breathing, meditate, I need to physically touch myself and reminded myself that I am safe. So, and the flight was uneventful and I arrived really safely in Montreal. So, my ego tried to protect me because it has no connection to the bigger picture. It could only respond to what happened in the past and what might happen in the future. And if I had listened to my ego, I would have literally, wasted my time and an opportunity to grow and to heal. And the same goes when you are making a decision to invest in a program, basically in yourself. Like I had to make a decision like this in one of the programs that I'm in. And literally, when it was at the checkout page and I had to put in my credit card information, like my hands started sweating, my heart started racing, and I said, "No, I don't have money. Yes, I do. Yes, I want to. No, I don't." Contradicted itself. Like I was panicking. So I knew it was my ego, and I decided to sleep on it. And the next day, I came into the checkout page, inserted my credit card information, and I felt nothing. Like I didn't feel panicky. I kind of felt, yeah, this is good. It's going to be good for me. So intuitively, it knew. My soul knew. So I hope that this helps you. It gives you a little bit of light to understand the reactions that you have whenever you make a decision um, and you are going through patterns again. And patterns is, for example, not health is not a pattern, not that much, but I have a lot of questions about money where if you see, and I used to be like that, like when you have money and you spent it, um, and you don't keep it, you probably don't feel safe. It's a limiting belief, but it's a pattern, you know? It's a pattern. I spend all my money and at the end of the month, I don't have anything. I have very little, whereas I make good money. So it's a pattern and it takes practice understanding the differences between the ego and the higher self when you're being ego driven and soul guided. It will take time to embody. I work with my clients very much on this, especially if you've spent a lifetime living from your ego, not knowing the differences between the two. So I hope these tips really helped you, like shed a light whenever you're making a decision about anything. Ask yourself, and what am I feeling right now? Like, are my palms sweating? Do I feel you're always here? The ego is here. What am I thinking? Oh my God, I can't do it. It it's here, but you also feel it physically, like your heart start racing. What am I feeling about the decision to move, for example, or the decision to invest in yourself? It happens a lot with my clients. And is it coming from fear or from love? What is the energy? Frantic, panicky, anxious, or grounded, cool, collective? And if it's something that is very emotional, so it's ego driven, take a step back, go for a walk, sleep on it if you want, meditate on it, and then come back to it and see if the message, the reaction has changed. So I hope it helps, and I'll see you in the next video.